Hi, it's Zubber1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And today I've got some clips for you over the course of 2 days hanging out in Seoul. First day was just me and Scooby, and the highlight was definitely this guy who turned up with 8 shock mounts. I believe he's a newbie and he was doing the tech broker unlocks, and unfortunately I don't think he knew about high waking for no mass lock because we're in the same size ship, and that's going to mass lock him. Plus I did have an FSD disrupt missile which might have confused him as it resets the track, which you don't want to have happen when you're already dealing with mass lock. But yeah, sadly for him, the limpets did their work and I got all 8 of his shock mounts. I did message him afterwards and I would chat with him. He hasn't messaged me back, he hasn't been salty or anything, so we'll have to see. He seemed to take the piracy quite well. Obviously he was not hurt in any way, shape or form. His shields were hit a few times, but you know, it's not about, you know, the trying to kill a newbie or anything like that. It's purely piracy. We're blockading Seoul to pirate anyone that comes in, or at least scan anyone that comes in. We're not ganking anyone, we're not killing anyone, we're not even attacking anyone. If there's an imp that comes in and he doesn't look like he's got cargo, say he's in a Corvette or something like that, or looks like he's undermining, we will send him a message and we will probably kill him. The message will say die imp dies. It's very clear messaging. That's a power play kill, because part of our deal with FedEx for being in Seoul is obviously we kill blue hairs who don't look like they're doing any good. So a nice wanted blue hair occasionally with, you know, someone that's been undermining a while, we may well attack. But on the whole, any trade ship that comes through, any unarmed ship that comes through, any harmless criminal that comes through, we're pretty much going to scan them for piracy. We do have a thing about killing people with kill rod scanners, but I think this guy had a kill warrant scanner, but I would only save that for people who are higher rank. I don't tend to kill newbies that have kill warrant scanners. But different Dark Marauders have different interpretations of the whys and wherefores of what we're allowed to do. But we are all, when it comes to being the Dark Marauders, pirates at heart. We're not kill anyone anywhere for any reason type players. We are very much roleplay pirates. And that is the fun of being a roleplay pirate. Is you never know what's going to happen. The interaction is all the fun. There's no guarantee. Like here, this is a weird ship build. This guy had 4-point defense and a load of vehicle hangars, so unlikely to have cargo. And most likely he's been doing the Guardian site stuff, so we were hoping he might have had a relic on him or something, but worth a scan definitely. And Solario joined us this night. We actually had a full wing. Garricus's Chemo crew, but we had 3 Dark Marauders and 1 Chemo crew in Seoul, which is a rare occurrence. Scooby and Garricus had some friendly pews later on, and we just basically hung around chatting in party chat, talking rubbish, talking politics, talking whatever. This is it. The game is just to hang out with your friends, just to chat about things. The Dark Marauders is just a casual gaming group where we roleplay being pirates in a video game about spaceships. It's nothing untoward, nothing nasty. We're not bullying people out of the game, despite what some people think. And in this instance, yeah, the guy didn't have any cargo. It was highly unlikely he would have, and if he had cargo, it would have been interesting to try and get past the 4-point defense. I've got to say, 4-point defense is definitely interesting when asked. But I can say I think he was doing the Guardian sites, and the 4-point defense. If you didn't know, the point defense will shoot down the missiles that the things attack you with, so it can be really helpful. But anyway, yeah, he was let go with no cargo free to scan. Look at that, a wing of 4 ships not killing somebody. Oh my god, how do they call me a ganker? It's so weird.
Space pirate.
That is correct, Matt Damon. I am not a ganker, I am a space pirate. And like I said, soon enough we had another target come along, walked into our blockade, and yeah, found another person to enjoy a little bit of roleplay action with. And this guy was a harmless guy in a Type 7, so again we're optimistically hopeful for cargo. Staru, this is a tough one. He's not played very often. A Type 7 in the wild is incredibly hard to interdict, and unfortunately for Starry, he didn't quite manage to do it. No shame in that. Type 7's an absolute nightmare to interdict. Yeah, I had a little bit of roleplay in system chat with this guy, and it was all fun. It was all good natured and fun. and yeah, he did not want to stop for scan. I think he was concerned, thought we were gankers, but if pirates are messaging you saying stop for scan and then chatting with you and joking with you, you're not likely to get killed. But people don't know that, and some people listen to idiots who say that anyone who disrupts you while you're doing anything is a ganker. But yeah, I decided as I was struggling to close the distance, I would go for the roleplay bit of fun and send some messages backwards and forwards, because that's the part of like the roleplay piracy that I really enjoy. Is in situations like this where the guy's pulling away from me, there's nothing I can do, so I may as well message him. I didn't notice he'd messaged me with a nah, he don't want to be scanned, and so I thought I'd pirates only after cargo, badly spelt. Think of the children, it's always a good one. Just it's kind of the distraction, and hopefully like he didn't notice that I'd actually got in a rage to interdict him. But he might have actually slowed down because of the messages, I don't know. But yeah, I did manage to interdict him, and whenever you have to work really, really hard on the interdiction, or you have to work really, really hard to pirate the person, you can almost guarantee they're going to have no cargo. It's one of those unwritten rules of piracy. The Type 9 that like is a real struggle to interdict is going to have no cargo, and the guy that pulls over immediately is going to be absolutely stocked to the gills. This is the way it goes. The harder you have to work, the less likely they are to have cargo. But yeah, this guy didn't have any cargo, so no cargo, free to go. And look at that, a wing of Dark Marauders not slaughtering him. Again, space pirates, not gankers. Yeah, I do love it when people try and claim that I'm a ganker, because it's just the amount of video evidence I put up to the contrary. I mean, this Type 7 wouldn't last 5 minutes if we were trying to kill him, but we're not. Why would we kill a harmless Type 7? We're going to wait for him to come back at some point when he's got gold. And it is nice that when we light the signal torch to the Dark Marauders, we do actually get a few Dark Marauders on. We've had a decent amount of us playing recently for the Dark Marauders. I'm not going to say for any group, but for the Dark Marauders we've had a few. And that's great, because it's a fun time pirating in Seoul if you've got people to chat to and just mess around with. And in the end, we did attract attention. We got a Corvette down here that wanted to try and kill us. I was a long way away in Super Cruise because I'd been in the kitchen chatting to the other half, and when I do that, I put myself heading out to Super Cruise to nowhere, so the other two guys in my wing can't interdict me and shoot my drives out, because that's the traditional Dark Marauders way for someone when they go AFK. So when I got back, I jumped in, and yeah, between the three of us in pirate ships, we were able to put the hurt on this a bit. I think Scooby's in his Crate Phantom pirate ship, which is a stealth beam build. I'm in a beam build, and I think Star was actually in an FDL escort ship, so he's actually in a combat ship, and he had a missile rack, so he was able to deal with the fighter. Unfortunately, none of us had bank cancelling rails, so that's kind of tough, but also very fun. The fun thing about organic fights as a crew of pirates is we're always in janky, silly builds because we're in pirate ships or fun ships. We're not in hardcore, serious PvP builds. So, even if a ship's not 100% grade 5'd all the way, it will have a lot less of a tougher time against us than it would against a wing of actual PvPers. I mean, PvPers would have much more higher DPS ships than we do, rail guns, etc. We tend to have quite light DPS because obviously we want to scare people into giving us cargo, but we don't necessarily want to hurt them. And like, if you shoot 4 Plasmax at a harmless Type 6, you're probably going to destroy it in one hit. So you have to be reasonably sensible with your weaponry. Here I've got a bunch of missiles with random effects on them, which tends to freak people out, and it's all about the messages that they get rather than anything else. Also, it does do a reasonable job of heating them up, and that's quite good fun. Scooby, I think, has got a Grom, and I think he's got a couple of missiles on his, but as you can see, Star's got some funky weaponry on his. I think he's got some plasmas with some missiles, but even so, we're still not full PvP builds with full sweat tryhards flying, and we're a bunch of middle-aged men in pirate ships, so that means we can have a fun fight. And he had the police on his side, and as you can see by now, there's a lot of police in the instance. Mostly they're all going for Star, which is handy for us because Star's actually got shields, being Scooby haven't, and NPCs don't like silent running. They don't care about silent running. They just shoot you anyway. And now I've been a bit of a bother because I've got no batteries, so that's not what you want. I've got a vet at my butt shooting my drives, and I've got to swap my batteries. But yeah, luckily for me, I have one of those rechargeable battery packs, and it's just flipping the one off and the one on. Easy peasy. Doesn't take long at all. And this was just a fun organic PvP fight. And he was using a fighter, which he's not someone I know particularly well. He is an imp, so we can kill him freely. Star was taking out the fighter pretty quickly before it was causing too many lag issues, which was great. I was getting distro trouble from some random malfunctions. I believe that was from Scramble Spectrum, not from module being taken out, because my modules were actually surviving pretty well at this point. But yeah, I love these sort of fights. Yeah, I got 70% left on my module reinforcement, so not a problem. But head out of the fight for a moment, get an assessment of what's going on. And also I was leading, as you can see, some of the NPCs away. There was 3 on me, and that's the thing that will start hurting soon, is the amount of NPCs in here. But he decided to make a run for it. He low waked up, so immediately went after him to grab him again. And we're going to look to keep attacking him, be aggressive, see if we can force him to high wake away. And there's no obligation for him to stick around till he dies. I mean, if he gets out, he gets out. He doesn't have to worry about dying. It's organic PvP. High waking away from organic PvP is perfectly fine. We haven't got anything that mass locks him, so he's not actually really in too much danger. But yeah, he had to go through his banks, and a little bit of escape and evade from him, and eventually we forced him to high wake rather than low wake. But yeah, a fun bit of PvP, a fun bit of piracy, and a couple of no cargoes free to go. All in all, a couple of decent days doing some piracy in Seoul and having some fun and hanging out with the guys. That's what being a Dark Marauder is all about. That's what being a PvP pirate is all about. You never know what's going to happen. Some days you can sit there for 2 or 3 hours and see no one. We had the other week, me and Scooby had this situation where we were in Malanja, and we literally saw we saw one guy briefly, and another guy was coming backwards and forwards, but he wasn't instancing with us. And it can be frustrating, it can be annoying. That's the choice of the legacy version on Xbox, is that, the player base isn't quite what it was, but people who talk about the game being dead haven't looked at the amount of squadrons that have scored points in trade and in combat recently. Because if that many squadrons are out here, that means there's a decent amount of players out here. They may not be in open, and they may not be in the system you're in, but there's plenty of star systems out there they could be in. Bless him. This guy, I think there was a little bit of panic because his drives are at risk now. He's being hit with all sorts of missiles, but yeah, I heard the pop of him going out before he left. Anyway, that's all. He highwayed that time, and that's all. Thank you very much for watching, and GG to this gentleman. But please leave the fire at home next time.
Everything's better.